do see some more scratch marks, getting a little bit more red. We know that someone's right around here. That is actually going to be one of those fresh hook survivors. Oh, but we've also got Backy inserting themselves in between the two here, which should at least allow for the last bit of the power to be used. Oh, no. Stop it. I like this.
Oh, my God. There's two. Two for the match.
No way. We have someone here to take a hit. That's a 4 out because of that head on. There is no way that Backy gets... Hey, what it do, what it do? It's your boy Q, and welcome back to YouTube, and let's get ready for another trip here back into the fog with some more OCE action as we are kicking off week number 4 with our top 4 teams squaring off. And as Spokerman and I had predicted during the Fog Down Under podcast, they would not disappoint. So today, we're going to be sitting in on Endless versus Owned as they do square off in what would end up being our second full 5-set series of the season. We're going to be getting started off with the Hillbilly on ARP, and if you've seen my tier list over here on the channel, y'all know just how much I love calling competitive Billy gameplay. Then we're going to be seeing the Spirit on Wrecker's Yard, Oni on Cold Tower, the Deathslinger on Suffocation Pit, and then the 5th and decisive set will be the Huntress on the Blood Lodge. Don't forget every like, comment, share. That all helps us out with that good old YouTube algorithm as we do chase down 500 subscribers here on the channel this summer, where we're posting literally daily comp DVD spanning like all across the globe, not just the OCE region, conversational videos as well, and maybe even some like fun gameplay and builds from time to time as well. So smack that subscribe button down below and tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody about it. Also, if y'all want to keep up with what Dead by OCE has going on, as always, I'm gonna have their link down in the description below. But for now, let's go ahead and get to this 5-set banger between Endless and Owned. And until we do catch y'all back over here on the YouTube for the next one, man, don't forget, with everything crazy going on in the world today, be true, be you, be sincere, game hard and love harder. All right, y'all, it's your boy Q, signing out. Back into the fog, as we had talked about, starting here on the Azerov's resting place. We're going to be seeing Green Dean moving up towards the corrupt side here. Was able to push up into the corrupt side relatively quickly. It does look like, though, we do have a couple of survivors on that backside trying to kind of get down past that double choke point that we do have on Azerov's resting place, that little eye figure to the map. But Felix, if we can hold the aggro back here, Lugadush can serve up some juice. You can allow for the survivors to build some time across the way. Swing and a miss coming in here from Green Dean. Wouldn't be surprised to see us take that vault and should be able to avoid the low pro as well. Really good first chase.
Chasing in the corrupt too for that for the start. It's not looking eating my words. What a down to start us off on Lugadush here.
And that's going to be big because that was just before we were able to get the pallet down. That is going to be a basement hook about 75 seconds into this trial. Not sure if we happened to get 2 survivors on that middle gen because we're only just now around the 80-second mark. And of course, that's how long it takes to complete a generator. And if they aren't, yeah, actually doesn't sound like there's any progress on this middle gen. So I'm guessing that means they're split up across the way. There's going to be a tag here onto the ace as well. This is really tough for our survivors.
Backy is now being pushed further back into the map away from the basement. I mean, he definitely does not want to run any closer there, especially while he's injured, knowing the dead hard is something that is banned here against Billy. You don't want to waste any of those resources here in the center just yet. But yeah, he's just patrolling that choke point here. He's just making sure no one can get past. He's definitely going to secure that that second stage on Luca. We do see, yeah, it looks like that first gen is getting ready to pop.
Yeah, I think they're going to try and do 2 here at the same time, just to try and then they'll probably move in for, I don't know if they move in for a 2-person save, depending on where Green Machine is. I mean, we are going to be seeing them now moving up a little bit more towards this top side of the map, of course, with that little bottleneck shape to the map itself. We do see Backy across the way. Is going to hold Shift W back towards the back side of main. Green Dean heading back to the middle here. This may just be a camp out into the elimination.
Oh, absolutely. Head on. What a play. You love to see it. But that's not going to buy enough time, especially with those engravings. He's going to make it back before anyone has a chance. Poor Luca. And they're in a tough spot too, gen-wise as well, because they will now have to cross into this territory to start breaking things up.
Yeah, and you still have the 3-gen completely intact on this side. And remember, at least I had mentioned kind of heading into this trial, this side of the map, you can create some dead zones early. Granted, we haven't really taken too much chase. We did break the pallet that's in the 4 lane over here on the one corner of the map. So that's one of the resources down. There's going to be the elimination here on to Lucadush. You do get generator number 3 complete and out of the way, though. That is going to be big. It is the 3 gens that are on the top side, which should give you, as the survivor squad, a little bit of safety to be able to retreat to that side of the map for some resets. The only problem is now we're got a survivor back here in this 4 lane. There's no pallet available. And with a Pride Rock here, no pallets over here either.
Oh, what a nice little sidestep here. They will have to bait out the M1, but this puts them in a very scary situation here. Kana is pre-throwing Shack. Okay. Valuable resource gone, but it does buy a bit of time for him here.
Interesting here, because we see also across the way, or at least I can't help but notice Backy hasn't got reset yet, which makes me wonder if they're maybe doubled up trying to crank out at least this middle gen. That would be a 4th and very, very valuable gen here. Yeah, there's actually going to be the 2 survivors here. And if they can get this gen, it at least allows their killer to play into a 3-gen scenario, kind of like we're looking here. And I think with going for the hook, oh no, the hook being right here, there's not going to be enough time. This is tough.
Yeah, that is.
There's enough time.
Get the gen though. Great hit here, and we do have both Ace and Claudette now injured, with Kana still vibing up there on the hook. It is a very scary spot here to be on the survivor side.
Yeah, especially because both survivors have more retreated back towards this top side of the map. Both of them being injured, so neither really being safe to come in for the save solo. Looks like we may have been able to find the reset point. There's the down on the Ace. We know where our Claudette is. We're going to go ahead and try and use our chainsaw here to close that distance. And it looks like we're going to slug for the 4K. Just coming right on back, though, closing the distance. Now the question is, where's the Claudette?
Yeah, Claudette's definitely going to be biding their time, waiting for both the Ace to recover and to see what Green's going to be doing here. If he's just going to, it looks like he'll definitely secure that second stage before he does do anything else, just to get a few more of those points on the board. I'd assume Claudette's probably made their way back to Ace by now.
I'm wondering, unless maybe you're splitting and trying to go for it, like maybe an end game play or bleed out, right? Because then at least you're depriving some points.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That is another great way to play that. Oh, Green's the tile. We'll definitely have to...
Because both of these survivors are fresh, right? It looks like. So, I mean, both survivors have some potential to be some big point swings, which means right now there's some pressure on our killer, because you really want to make sure you secure both of these, honestly.
Oh, yes, because if Ace bleeds out on the floor here, that's a loss of a lot of points. And it makes your survivor side a lot harder.
We do see, though, I mean, right now, Green doing a great job of just doing the basic zoning, right? I feel like we're not overcommitting for the down, because we know that we can play this patient. We're just going to eventually create these dead zones. Over on this side of the map, we could use our low pro here to even get a good read, basically, on which side of this little short wall the Claudette's going to be trying to go. That's just going to be a basic M1. That's going to be the down. Now, as long as you can secure your fresh hooks all the way, you are plenty good to go. And I mean, with both of them being fresh hooks, you do have plenty of hang time as well.
Absolutely. So where will Bakiev crawl to? He's been on the floor for a very long time now. He could be absolutely anywhere at this point.
Yeah, and the other thing is, when we look at the bleed out timer, the bleed out timer is going to be less than the full hook timer. So realistically, where sometimes we will see when we get to the end game and, that third survivor on the hook will, accidentally miss some skill checks to kind of force the end game a little bit quicker. Here, if you're hitting all those skill checks, you're able to, force the bleed out or you have the potential for the bleed out that much more. Really forces Green D to need to scour through all the nooks and crannies along the outside of this map. And I mean, every second that goes by is one less second that we can find our survivor, and that might be a big point loss.
Looks like he's found himself a pretty nice hiding spot here.
Where are we at right now? You think about 45 seconds-ish around so on that? Yeah.
Give or take.
And we have a full minute on that hook, so. And I would assume from where that survivor was looking when we last sat in with them, I don't think we're even worrying about setting up for a hatch play. I think we're literally just fine with vibing out.
Oh no.
I didn't happen to see that. It's not I mean, at least it's not like a, you don't have a Drenny or anything that'll pop them up.
Oh, that would have been unlucky if they did.
Really unlucky, yeah.
But it looks like Backy's found himself a great little hidey hole. It doesn't look like Green's going to find him in time.
That's tough because that's a fresh hook that you're gonna just lose. And now, granted, it's not like the survivors are gaining any points on an escape versus like via a hatch, but that's 3 stages. That's a lot of points deprived from Endless, which is, I mean, when you take into account the fact that we didn't have the ability to complete all the gens, the fact that you can deprive those points really, really big here. So that only results in a 10-point lead here from Endless, as far as we're looking at a score of 18-8. So probably not the result that Owned was looking for, but I would say they're in the end game doing a good job of like mitigating the damage, right?
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. It's going to be putting a lot of pressure here now on Endless's survivor team. Seeing they're definitely going to have to get the 5 gens done. That's for sure, at a bare minimum. But point-wise, I'm not too sure exactly what they'll need escape-wise so they can come out on top.
Well, we figure there's a 10-point lead right now. So I think it all depends on the amount of stages that get out the amount of stages that get out the door. Because when you look at the points that the own survivors were able to get, it was really only 4 gens. But I feel like if you get the 5th gen done, and then because you deprived the points from Endless, that might even still be enough. I would have to look at the math. The math always gets weird whenever we have like points deprived. You know what I mean? But the pressure is. I love seeing the pressure getting turned up in trial number 1, though, for sure. So it's going to be interesting to see how both Endless responds whenever they come out here on the survivor side, as well as whoever comes out for Owned in trial number 2. So we'll be bringing that trial to y'all after a very quick break.
And we are back. Welcome, folks. We are now on the other side of this with Canna bringing us the Hillbilly. Looks like he has found us his first chase of the match, going after Spartan here. Oh no, I lied. He has now swapped across.
Oh yeah, that is Spartan there.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were able to get the low pro hit though too. So not only do you remove a resource out of the way, you also get yourself a health state change. We do see Nia though moving back towards the shack. You always want to try and take that first chase away from the active gens, but with the fact that Nia's already injured, gonna need to be very, very careful.
Oh, absolutely. We may even see a repeat of the last match here if they do get that very quick down on that top side.
It's interesting. We had heard someone back behind us on that middle gen. We see the scratch marks also heading away from the opposite side of the middle. We also see some pools of blood here. That is going to be Spartan being located now, heading back towards, I was going to say back towards the shack, actually instead around the tractor. That's tough. That's another very strong very strong pallet that we are getting down and out of the way here before we even see the Corrupt getting off the gens. Granted, it is buying time for our survivor squad to be able to get over towards that top side of the map and complete some gens. So what's going to be really important is the 3 survivors not in chase need to make sure for this resource used run here, they need to get at least 2, if not 3 gens.
What a great fake there. And down he goes. That is going to be the first hook Corrupt's going to be ending very soon, though, and it doesn't look like they would make the basement in time here either. But yeah, they did chew up a lot of resources, but the 3-gen now on the side is open. But we haven't had a gen pop for their troubles yet.
Which, to be honest, is a little concerning here. Understanding that, you know, they've got a pretty, I would say, obtainable win condition. We do hear that this generator behind us, that things are rocking. It's got, you know, quite a bit of progress. We're going to be getting a kick, no pop. Yeah, no pop though. So it's no instant regression. And I can't help but wonder if that might cause Canada to need to play this a little bit closer to the chest. I mean, we see 2 generators off in the distance now getting popped, which should allow more survivors to rotate down to this bottom side of the map, moving for the save. So Canada got to play this smart.
He's backing up through the choke point, watching them advance on both sides here. With Green and I believe we saw Dixie for a moment here in this TL. Yep, there they are. The only one not accounted for is Bulba.
Now it's interesting here. We are going to be seeing quickly, you know, really more following towards the backside of Dixie, moving up into the corner. Now going to go for the back. Rev should be able to establish the down. We see the second stage has been forced on our survivor, backed by Shaq. We're actually going to go for the slug, knowing that we have a survivor back that way. There's going to be the Forta Peepo here, which is going to at least now make you need to get the chainsaw onto the Nia. The only issue is you got to remember we've already used our pallet here at Shaq, so a simple M1 can at least get you a health state change. 3 injured survivors, one of those being already down on the ground. Right now our squad that's out here needs to really turn things around here.
Yeah, it looks like, he's going to eat it if Spartan does have the DS, or was it a bait? It was the
and
DS.
she slaps him with the D.
And we've got a third gen, popping for this. And Dixie's still on the floor. He's committing very hard to get this elimination here on Spartan.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how long Dixie's been on the ground, right? I mean, I understand that they committed to the 1 gen, but we do see now at least Dixie is up off of the ground. We do have the chase being taken over here. I think we tried the window tech, but not today, says Canna.
Did not work. Did not time that just enough. You could see that the collision happened, and looks like Canna here found Nia stuck to his boot, and that takes them out of the game. But these 3 remaining survivors have had a lot of time on the top side to start pressuring some gens. There we go. There's one of them now.
And then you also hear this gen. There's generator number 5. Our survivor squad did a fantastic job of making sure to really get true value out of that very first run. That way you don't have to worry about all the resources that had been expired. And of course, with the fact that it was your obsession that did get sacrificed early, Canada does not have the ability to get those, or get that very easy elimination thanks to the Rancor. 1 stack of the No Way Out means 24 seconds before our survivors can power the door, about 3/4 of which has expired. Right now, Cannon's got to pick a door and hope it's the right one.
It looks like... if I was in the survivor's shoes here, I definitely would have stepped away from this door. This was the one where they propped No Way Out on. And if you're playing to the win condition, all you have to do is just go for the escape. You can just let Green hang out there. Oh, but they go for the save. Okay.
I'm wondering if they figured that since Canna was going to be coming in and double checking on these doors, knowing that you only had 24 seconds, right? It's not like you had a little bit longer of a time. So you send somebody down for the save. Now you've got 1 person holding aggro. You have the ability to potentially split these doors, or even just have the 2 head towards the furthest door here. But it's a very tough situation. We are going to be seeing this survivor might be trying to rotate back towards the shack, maybe trying to line up. Oh, not going to line up for a hatch play. Instead, just going to go into the locker. Forces the grab, means that you can't go for the instant slug. I anticipate this door opening across the way pretty quickly.
Oh, absolutely. It'll be popping any second now. There we go.
That is a fresh hook, though. That's huge.
Dixie a bit of a love tap. Oh, absolutely huge. It will be close, but I don't think quite close enough.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing here, especially when we talk about for Endless, who was able to prevent the survivors from even finishing the gens. Not only do you complete the gens and get, 2 outs, both of those outs combined only hooked once. So you're able to combine, or so basically for the trial here, it's a null score, right? 15-15, which means that 10-point lead that we had seen from trial number 1 is going to be the difference for set number 1 with Endless 33 and Owned 23. But we are going into Owned's first set here on the Spirit, right? So I mean, they have an ability to bounce back. This is a best of 5, so I don't think there's any reason to press the panic button yet, right?
Oh, absolutely. We're just kicking off the night. I am very interested to see how this next match here with Owned picking Spirit for the Wrecker's Yard. I'm very, very interested to see how this game's going to play out here. But with that being said, we will move into the break as we set up set 2 with Endless taking that first set for the night. We'll be back with you shortly.
All right, let's go ahead and take another trip here back into the fog. Starting off set number 2 between Endless versus Owned. Going to be seeing a Backy out on the Spirit here on the Wrecker's Yard. And it's going to be interesting looking down here at the build, seeing yet another killer opting to go for the sloppy Butcher after the changes to the hemorrhage effect. I'm wondering if that means we're going to be looking to very nice flash.
Blind.
Yeah, blind there by the firecracker is going to allow us to get back to the Tino.
That is a very quick start to a chase. Hopefully they do get the hit before they... Oh, yep, he faked the window, so that's going to be one free hit. Running back through to the center of the map, and that Corrupt looks very split here and just pre-throwing God Pallet. Dixie with a plan here, running off to the other side of the map.
Wreckers is scary, right? When we talk about taking the chases kind of close to that middle, last thing you want is a basement hook. We should be far enough away from the basement where we don't have to worry about it here. We are going to see walking right through the pallet space, not even worried about it. Yeah, hook number 1 should be coming around that 80-second mark, unless we have 2 survivors paired up on a gen, especially if this is a Pain Resonance here. Oh, actually, the Pain Resonance coming in just a second too late. That would have been huge because that Pain Resonance pop combo could have prevented that gen from popping.
Absolutely. It'll be interesting to see how far along this has progressed. Not a great deal, unfortunately.
Yeah, but the good news is you can probably anticipate at the rate that they got that first gen done that more than likely you had 2 people on it, right? So now with that gen getting the Pain Resonance and the pop back, you should be able to assume here that the objective spread across the board, multiple gens here, should be relatively low. And for that reason, should be pretty comfortable just vibing around this hook here.
Absolutely. He can apply a lot of pressure here very easily and make sure that nobody does get this save till at least stage 2. We do see them just cautiously going up to that harvester generator, just touching it and working on it while we do have our killer here just lingering near the hook. It can be a very dangerous game here if Backy decides to go straight towards them on that generator, but he's instead opting to go to another side of the map. Just to make sure
I'm wondering if the thought is hoping to see if maybe you found 2 survivors on a single generator. This could be tough. There's going to be the save across the way, though, on to our Adam. There's going to be the For the People here to prevent the tunnel out. Not sure if it was necessary. Can't help but wonder if maybe we could have been able to get the heal without causing the broken status on ourselves here. And I almost wonder if maybe because of the For the People, it makes the decision to come back to the hook that much easier, because you know if you find Chase with the ace, at least sometime in the next 60 seconds, there's no chance for them to be healed, right?
That is very true. However, they don't have Deliverance Band, so there could be a... if they're combining pokes like that, for example, you know, getting them down, it means you are losing that pressure, even though it is a fresh hook. But he has found green, so we will see here.
Isn't able to force the pallet down. There's the pallet at this point. Swing able to get the hit down here. Really good mind game to be able to establish the down. Now, we did see the second gen across the way, but remember, when we had pushed survivors off of that earlier, it was 2 people on it. So it's going to be a similar situation like after we saw the first gen pop, especially because we're going to be seeing Baki rotating this survivor over to this hook that we know that is a Scourge hook. It is going to give us that 15% regression. The only thing is this time, no one's going to be over there to tap that. So now the question is, where do we apply this pop?
That is a very good question. It looks like he will be trying to track down where these people are working on the motors. He knows the one that did have the pain resonance has nobody there. Oh, cutting it very close.
This is going to be tough because if you can establish a very quick down here onto this Claudette, with us knowing that the 2 survivors are paired up on the gen far across the way, and now at least Baki knows that's where 1 survivor is, since that gen is indeed complete. Going to be moving around here, able to make the vault. Big swing, big miss, but now at this point we're at least going to be able to break this pallet. We're starting to create more of these dead zones around the shack, and we're also going to be seeing that save across the way. So our survivors doing a great job fighting back here. Swing and a miss at the pallet space as well. Right now, Claudette serving the juice.
Yeah, Vision just deciding instead of just sticking there at the pallet that he would just run through, expecting that yeah, Baki would think that he would stay there. Great play there by them. They do unfortunately go down, but let's see how this plays out now for Baki. He does spot Bulba, but he's not going to be able to prevent him, putting him on this Scourge hook.
And we are going to see that the gen that does get the 15% regression, right, from the pain resonance is going to be one of the furthest ones off across the way there. So Baki now going to be in decision because we have the unhook behind us. We have a Kate in front of us. You've got some options, but you really would like to continue establishing these downs right now because at this point, we are struggling just a little bit as far as the hook
Great dead hard.
Especially because our survivors have done a good job thus far with making sure they're that you've still got 1 survivor, Bulba, who is fresh, so you would like to at least get that last fresh down.
And there he goes. He gets the down. Will he find a Scourge hook though? Because we do know, as we saw from that camera change, that there are 2 people on another generator off in the distance. That was a Scourge hook, but they let go in time. It does look like Baki's getting the benefit of like not having to overextend for those Scourge hooks, right? Sometimes that's my worry when we see it in comp, is sometimes it forces our killers to, you know, spend more time with the hooking side of the objective to make sure you get the 15%. But it seems like we've been able to establish the downs pretty close. We've had some pretty good RNG as far as with where those Scourge hooks are indeed located. Right now, though, would really like to at least get themselves probably 1 survivor out. Unfortunately, though, the survivor that we're in chase with is not the survivor that's on Death Hook. Right now, Dixie would be the survivor that would at least turn this thing into a 3v1. Dixie is playing this game very well, staying well out of sight, knowing that he is on that Death Hook here. What's going to happen now that we've recycled this Scourge hook? This Scourge hook is the MVP of this match. That same hook has been applying a lot of pressure to these gens. I guess now that it is the 1 gen left, he is going to step further away from that hook to prevent that. And another for the people play. Very nice. Green putting in a lot of work to make sure that that tunnel does not happen.
And now we're going to be seeing the flashlight clicks here to pull the aggro. And it does look like that is going to be the Claudette. So you did have the extra health state change. That is going to be the benefit. Of course, since you are on Death Hook, you are the survivor that is worth the least amount of points here. Can't help but wonder. I was going to say, if you can make it to this locker, that's not going to be the case. And I think Baki understands that it looks like Claudette was trying to waste some time. You might have one of these generators somewhere on this map that's just about ready to go. We can hear a whole lot of progress on this generator right here. We will see the first tag coming out onto the Kate. 2 survivors entered in play and a survivor on the ground. Right now, we could make a little play here in the end game.
Oh, absolutely. And they've picked up the Claudette now off the floor as well. Dead-hearted just too early, and down he goes. And
with the adrenaline,
that is some perfect timing here. Bulba getting incredibly lucky with that adrenaline.
That's going to be some big value because now you can't even go right into the hook and then into protecting one of these doors. You've got to establish the down here again on to our survivor. And now you're facing the wall. Oh, I was going to say, please don't turn into that flashlight. We have 3 survivors that are all fully healthy. Not sure if you've had enough time to attack these doors just quite yet, but you'll notice no haste status. So wondering if maybe our survivors try and make a play to get all 4 out here.
There is a chance for that. Knowing that there's no NOED, it does make it a lot less riskier, and they know that they are pulling them away further and further from the hook while he does chase green here.
Now, right now, basically, I mean, honestly, green is who you want to chase if you're backy. This is the only survivor that would yield you 2 stages if you were to camp them into the elimination stage. There is going to be the door getting opened across the way. We have 2 players here. Part of the reason we have Claudette here is because, of course, they are worth less points. The only problem is there is plenty of space right now between green and the doors. I'm not sure if maybe Dixie's lined up here to try and take an M1. Oh, that is the case, but nice job with the body block to allow those 2 to get out. But now the question is, are we going to be seeing Vision get up? Is Vision maybe lined up even for a hatch play here? This is tough.
Yeah, because they'll know if he goes to pick him up, they'll just immediately walk all out the gate. Oh, here's a play.
Oh, the hesitation on the phase was tough.
The dead hard.
This is time for the hatch. Where's Vision at? Vision on the hatch.
Yeah, he did get down relatively close to Shaq.
No way! This is
right there. Turn the
corner. There is no way, my guy. Oh my goodness. Wow.
Endless put in some fantastic work to get that 4-man escape. Some amazing use there out of their perks. That adrenaline there by Bulba. The coordination for the body blocking to make sure the people with less value of points go down. It was just fantastic play by that survivor team right there.
Yeah, and it's like all the small things that you do, right? Even just that little bit of extra, like even just the small hesitation by rotating in the survivors that were worth less at the door in between our killer there and the goal caused literally the 1.5 seconds of hesitation needed to not be able to make it over to the hatch so the slug escapes. That was, I mean, literally to perfection there. That was really, really well done. So that is going to result in a score. I mean, Owned is still going to be taking the lead on the killer side, 18-15, but of course, more points are available on that side of the matchmaking. So survivors from, our survivors here did do a very good job of making sure that they are able to limit that point difference, which will actually end up putting some pressure onto the survivors here of Owned in trial number 4, which we will be bringing to y'all after a very quick break.
And we are back, folks, with the second half of round 2. Green Machine is going to be taking us through as the killer up against the survivor side of Owned. Now, Q, how do you feel that, what do you think the green will do here to make sure that he does come out on top? Because he does need to make sure that at least one person does not escape.
Yeah, I mean, I think the important thing here is in the early game, you really got to make sure that you spread the pressure as far as the stages across your fresh hooks, right? We had seen that our killer last game was able to do that. And even though we saw 4 survivors walking out the door, the killer was still able to leave the game with a 3-point lead. So I think in understanding like really the weight of those fresh hooks here in OCE, that's a very early down here. The question is, do we have any pallet save enjoyers? Because if not, this is going to be a basement hook 60 seconds into this trial.
Yeah, Mark stepping in on the Atom. Unfortunately getting caught out by great prediction there by Green. That was fantastic to see. We do see one of these generators is getting ready to pop, though, for the trouble.
We also have another one at 50 here, so we know we got some good spread. Looks like the one that is going to get popped first isn't going to be getting interrupted here. That's going to be the good news for our survivors. Wouldn't be surprised to see if maybe we do try and send both of these two in here for the save before a second stage is forced. But I mean, with such an early down, you can understand why Green Machine's like, nah, you know what? I'm just going to vibe right here. Make sure that this gen by Pride Rock that links to the 3 gens that are corrupt is good. And otherwise, I'm just going to play this thing for a late game. And understandable.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do see the 2nd gen popping here now, with Baki just slowly cranking away at the rotors. We are about to see stage 2 hit as well.
Now, the one thing that could be an interesting strategy here, I was going to say, would be how long Green Dean does decide to stay at the shack, because realistically, there's still 60 seconds of hang time. That could be enough time for you to want to try and just pound out the generators here from the survivors, because you're depriving fresh shooks if that's the case. So Green Dean going to need to kind of force some mistakes from the survivors, if we're being quite honest.
We did see a great pallet stun into a blind as well, with giving Pasty enough time to get away, but it looks like he will be deciding to make sure that Mark does not leave this trial alive. Oh, the live play as well?
Yeah, I think life is indeed life here for the Zarina. We do see 2 survivors moving, and that's going to be a grab in the basement here. Now going to have to worry about this is going to be a hook. And if that's not a borrowed time, it is going to be a borrowed time. We are going to be a borrowed time save on both survivors here in the basement. But of course, Mark already taken the borrowed time hit, not far from the basement. Mark's a ninja.
Yeah, he's gone. He's just off into the wind. Green not too happy with that.
Unfortunate here and understandable. Now, the good news for you, if you are Green, you do still have your 4 gen intact over here on this side of the map. But man, really good job here from our survivors from Owned to be able to get Mark to safety. We've only checked on one of the 4 gens in our gen spread here, trying to see maybe if we end up can interrupt the reset. Not going to be the case. Mark now getting a reset. We are about to be seeing a reset on Nakana as well, and we're going to have 4 fully healthy survivors trying to attack this 4 gen, 2 of which are already paired up at about 50% on generator number 4.
Yeah, all of that pressure that he had from that grab on the basement hook is just all evaporated here now, and Green is now back on the back foot, but he has found Pasty here for the chase. That pallet is thrown very quickly.
Bro, who snatched her wig?
Oh yeah, that's the spectator bug. That's a brilliant one. Have you seen the one where the head just sort of like detaches from the body?
Oh man, I've seen that on the Legion, like on more so, but yeah, that's pretty bad. Yeah, we are gonna see though. Our Lori here is gonna be able to move back towards Shaq. I think really trying to do the best that they can to pull this aggro away from the 4 gen Green Machine though, displaying some patience, understanding the assignment. But it does look like our survivors have done a good job of already starting to split the pressure. That is exactly who you would like to find. That's going to be Mark. That would bring you down to a 3v1. The question is, can you follow up the first tag with a down that will, or with another tag that will establish the down? Get stunned, stupid, says Mark here, applying +10 wood to the face. Now we've also got the ace here moving in for the protection hit. The only problem is we're going to have access to that phase here shortly, which of course now also with the tag. Wait. What?
Interesting. Oh, okay.
That was beautiful. Yeah, don't mind me.
Very well played.
Green knows what he's doing. That's going to be a fresh that's going to be a fresh hook here with the grab. Also, this is going to allow you to rotate back towards the 3 gen that you do still have over on this side of the map. I think that was a pain resonance there. I'm not mistaken, if I'm not mistaken, or just a missed skill check. Yeah, we're going to be able to get over here. That's going to be a pop goes the weasel over onto this gen.
We do see Kano going off into the distance. Baki now being saved as well. Looks like that was Pasty that did do that save, but he's got to make sure that nobody finishes that gen because that is so close to completion. That Scourge Hook must have interrupted them just before it finished.
Now here's the question. Where is our Lori? That's really who you would like to find here. Like, I understand that Mark would get you down to a 3v1, but that generator over across the way, that thing's just about near completion. And Mark, of course, is on Death Hook, which does not render you too many points. Whereas if you were to find the Lori, that's all 3 stages. If you were to get the elimination with that there, I think that puts you right around your qualifying condition. That is a very good pallet. Pixel perfect to be able to get the stun. However, we're starting to run out of resources over in this corner. If Green Machine's able to land, oh, what a beautiful body block.
Baki is the hero of this match. That's his second body block here of the match. And we do have the final one, and we do see a little haste effect there.
Now, this is where things get interesting, because right now Lori needs to be very patient, and there's going to be Lori right there along with the criminal Adam, and that's going to be the down onto the Lori, and you've put yourself in position here to be able to block off the space. I don't think you worry about this chase, though. I definitely understand this decision. You go ahead, you get yourself the pick here. You're going to go ahead and rotate Lori over to this hill, and honestly, you can just camp this thing out to an elimination.
Ooh,
this is tough. Yeah, I think you still need one more stage. I think this is going to be, we're going to have to see as the score gets updated. I think this is going to be a 1 point shy, because what, that'll be a 17 point for the killer, right? Yeah, so that's going to be a 1 point difference here for Owned to take set number 2, 33 to 32, Owned on top, which does mean that that's going to split up our set points 1 point apiece. And I know we had kind of talked about kind of heading into things. Wouldn't be surprised if this thing is one of those barn burner sort of matches. Now we've got a set 1 point apiece. Now heading into set number 3 on the cold tower, and that's got to be a little deflating for Endless to lose by just 1 point, right?
That was such a nail-biting finish, though. I mean, with 1 point, I'm sure in his mind there he would have calculated, you know, it's more than likely either a tie or a win, so I can see why he probably didn't commit to Mark there at the end as well. But I feel, though, moving in on set 3 with Oni on Cold Tower, this is going to be, the match will go one way or the other very rapidly. If they don't get their power very quick on that map, it is all over.
Yeah, I always very thoroughly enjoy watching the Oni. Definitely one of my favorite M1 killers, as I had covered on my YouTube not too long ago when I did my tier list for as far as what are the most fun killers to watch in comp. So I'm going to be excited to see here in this very close matchup between Endless and Owned heading into set 3, tied up, and we'll be bringing that to y'all after a very quick break. All right, let's go ahead and take another trip here back into the fog, starting trial number 5, which does kick off set number 3 here between Endless and Owned. We're going to be hanging on board with Dixie out here on the Oni on the cold tower, not to be confused with the cold shower. We are going to be moving quickly up into this top right portion of our map, which is corrupted here currently, not finding any survivors. Wouldn't be surprised to see Dixie maybe even take a quick second to break down this breakable wall to our right. Instead, though, does decide to go ahead and engage and chase with the Atom and go ahead and does break down this breakable wall.
Yeah, it looks like he's only breaking the one here. Having a bit of a look through. Currently not sure what he's found right now.
Wouldn't be surprised to see our survivors trying to play this super patient, right? I mean, it is an Oni after all. You kind of can control the pace of the game a little bit more on the survivor side by being able to play very patient. We do see Dixie going for a very
ambitious swing.
Ambitious swing at the window. That's the word that I was looking for there. There again, trying to see if we can get it at the long wall. The back-to-back TNLs here is going to be tough, but Dixie does have the BAM to be able to come out here to block those windows. Should be able to get at least the first M1 up here in this top right portion of the map where a lot of our competitive players like to call 1. And we are going to be seeing Baki now moving along the back main, and we don't have the splintered hole to help us with the contribution to the actual use of the power, but with an early hit, we're not too far off from use of the power anyways.
Absolutely. You can see that, ooh, big swing through the pallet. Didn't get the prediction quite right, but off a few more orbs, he is going to have that power ready to go. Big swing and a big miss here from Dixie, but he does now have his power with 1 gen completed. Baki going to have to run straight back to the TLs from there, and there is the 2nd gen finished. He does make that window for sure.
And a 3rd generator done as well. Right now, our survivors, a bunch of filthy gen rushers they are from Team Owned. That's 3 gens done, only 1 injured state. I do believe we were able to catch Baki too far out of position. Unfortunately, though, that's going to be a swing and a miss that does not find the connection. Should allow Baki to head towards the other tile here, and I think that's going to be yet another TNL. Really unfortunate when you kind of take into consideration as far as the tile spawns. Oh, with the head on as well. No way.
God. That is wild. Baki is just, even though he went down, he has been playing phenomenally this set. Will we see a 4th gen for his troubles?
Yeah, I was going to say that's the concern here, right? I mean, granted, this hook is going to be going up into this top left corner of our map, kind of where a lot of our comp players call like 11 and 10 over here, right? But I would imagine we'll at least see generator number 4, but I don't know how much time we've had to attack this 3 gen up here on the top side. There's going to be the save coming in. Now going to be seeing the Oni. He very, very angry coming over back to this side. We actually see we've been able to get Kenna into the top of the coal tower. Has that generator. 3 pistons fully pumping. The 4th one getting close right now. Dixie not aware of that. Really needing the down. There's at least going to be the hit onto the mark. Onto Mark here. Going to go for the quick pickup. And there is generator number 5 getting complete. They already have somebody on the door, so only 1 stack of the no way out. 24 seconds, which already almost half of that has expired before our survivors can attack these doors.
Yeah, this is typically what you see what happens with Oni in the competitive scene. You struggle to get that early hit, and if you don't get something very early with a very good spot, or you get some rough tile spawns like this, it can be incredibly hard to play killer, especially against survivor teams that play as phenomenally as this. We do hear in the distance that we have another run through of the power.
He's really mad.
Oh yeah. Oh, he sees one in the distance.
That is Mark, though. We got to keep in mind that is one of the 2 survivors that has already been put up on a hook. Not exactly who you would like to find at this point in time. Realistically, you would like to find Canna or Pasty here, but it doesn't look like they're easily found. And with the Lion's Fang, at least you do have the couple of extra seconds here. In the Demon Dash form, we see some scratch marks leaving this door. Not sure who it is. We do see some more scratch marks getting a little bit more red. We know that someone's right around here. That is actually going to be one of those fresh hook survivors. Oh, but we've also got Baki inserting themselves in between the 2 here, which should at least allow for the last bit of the power to be used.
Oh, no.
Stop it. Not like this.
Oh, my God. There's 2. 2 for the match.
No way. We have someone here to take a hit. That's a 4 out because of that head on. There is no way that Baki gets the head on to avoid the hit. They force the quick stop. This is a 4 out. No way, bro.
That is some amazing gameplay. Oh my God, I love seeing some good head-on plays there. And that just timed so perfectly. The miss swing into the power cooling down, into like giving him the chance to hit that head-on. Perfect. Yeah.
Would the decisive strike still have been up on Baki? I didn't happen to check, but I do see that they had him. Not by a long shot, right?
Not by a long shot, yeah. But Baki was definitely the MVP here of the team. Like 100%,
that was
he just absolutely juiced this match.
Yeah, that was impressive here. So to be able to come in on the survivor side and take a 14-point lead 20-6 here by making sure that you only hand over 2 stages. That is going to be putting a whole lot of pressure here onto the survivors from Team Endless. So the question is, how will they be able to respond here? And we're going to have an answer to that for y'all after a very quick break.
Welcome back, folks, to the second half here of round 3. Own Survivor team putting on a stellar performance here, having the scores at 6-20. Endless is going to have to fight massively if they want to secure a third set victory. And if Owned plays to a win condition, if they get a second person on fresh hook, they can just stand in front of them and make sure that they just don't get saved, and that is a win.
And I was thinking about it here too, right? Even if you just camp one survivor to death, because that would only result in 9 stages out the door instead of 10 stages out the door, that would also be the victory, right? That'd be another one of those 1-point victories.
Ooh, yeah, that is actually a good point as well. Or although they would have, if you only hook and camp one person out, that's 3 people getting out with the 3 points.
Yeah, but that'd be at that point be 6-19 as opposed to 6-20 from the last trial, right? So you'd have.
Ooh, yeah, you're right. That would be.
So you've got a lot of options. The survivors under. I mean, you've got to play a darn near perfect game. You basically can't give up a hook, and if you do give up a hook, you got to make sure you get that survivor off a hook without surrendering another one. And I think that's part of the reason we see our survivors with the quick play to be able to avoid getting pulled out of the locker, you know, understanding them going with the throwback wait out corrupt tactic here. Life is indeed life, says Vision. Going to be able to build some distance, should be able to get back to the shack. That also allows the rest of our survivors from the top side to be able to stop playing so immersive, emerge from those hiding spots and start attacking these generators.
We do see the brutal strength, and Vision did commit a little bit too far on that one side, which will give up the hit. Oh, this is looking pretty scary for Endless. Vision's now bleeding across the map, giving him his chance for his power very early into the match, especially because they were playing so immersive. They won't have much progress on these rotors at all, but Corrupt has ended. So let's see what they can do.
Yeah, that's that risk you take when you do the stealth out Corrupt method, right? Like, yeah, now the Corrupt's off, but you also have very minimal progress into the gens, and also thanks to the splintered hole on top of the early hit, we're talking about already having the power available. Now Claudette is just going to be dropping the blood orbs across the map for us to maybe have disposal to later. So I mean, right now, understanding why Mark's just kind of continuing to hold W, try and get some of these pallets out of the way, because as the pallets get depleted, the simple 2 stages, 3 stages, 6 points, however you want to call it, becomes very well attainable. This is a down very close to main.
Not a lot to work with there for Vision, and that is going to be the first hook, but how many gens will we get for this hook?
I mean, you've got to hope you can at least get 2, but you started so immersed, right? You don't really have anywhere to go. There's the 2, but yeah, Mark can literally just vibe here, and you've got the power arm, so can you come for the save? I mean... Yeah, this is kind of what you've allowed for you've allowed for this strategy because of how good your survivors played, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Mark understands the assignment, knows all he has to do is just stand there with his strong arm ready. If anyone comes, yell really loudly and hit them with the massive stick and get a quick double down. Yeah, there's not even a lot that you can play with there to help secure the save. He is in the middle of nowhere. No pallets, no lockers, no nothing. It's yeah,
and even that tile next to us is a TNL too, so like legit, you have nothing. And I mean, you have like the one little small filler pallet that's like attached to main. That's not attached to the main, but that's like between like the 2 treads for the tractor. So.
Oh, he's
man,
he's going for his power.
Just wants to go get a fresh hook. Yeah, that's a smart play, honestly.
Very, very tempting.
With the head on here.
If he gets this down, it's all over.
Oh.
There it is. That now puts them to, what's that, 8 points for Killer?
Yeah, here's that should secure the dub for Mark here, even if you were allowed the gens to get complete and everyone to walk out the door, even with getting this survivor off the hook, which I don't think Mark's going to allow that to happen. But if that were the case, even still, already taking set point number 3, and that's going to be big because granted, like, it has been back-to-back owned sets, right? Like, these were their picks, so kind of understandable why they're able to come out with the back-to-back dubs. So if you can go into the Deathslinger set here and steal that pick from Endless in set number 4, you don't have to worry about going into a 5th and decisive set. But if you happen to drop the set, you still have one more left, which is kind of the benefit of going up 2-1 in a best of 5, right?
Oh, absolutely. And even just aside from it being their picks as well, they are playing this so incredibly well. This has been some amazing games to see. Oh, unlucky for Bulba being caught out and knocked down. There is another fresh hook. Mark is just out for blood.
And you can see here, our survivors understood the assignment. I don't know if you're noticing down that bottom right-hand corner, but there is a perk that actually our killer Mark isn't going to get value out of because our survivors already pre-cleansed Noed, but since the win condition was so steep, not really going to matter here because we've already met that. Oh, I was tripping. I was thinking we had already finished the last gen. Don't mind me. No, it's early. It's early.
Right. That's all right. You were just looking a little bit ahead. That's okay. They did get the save. Green has gone down, and that's going to signal the end to this third round.
We hear that door behind us already primed and ready to go. And yeah, I think at this point, Mark just going to hang out here. We actually see the lit totem right next to us. So a save really not an option. We are going to be seeing that Claudette's going to force us out. Not sure if the Nancy's right around the corner here somewhere, if we're going to just kind of force Mark to make decisions. There's going to be an elimination, though. So, I mean, again, you know, got to give the nod here to Owns, bouncing back after dropping set number 1. You win set number 2 by a single point. And now in set number 3, win in pretty convincing fashion, 34-19 here. So 34-22, I'm sorry.
Very solid match there by Owned, both on Killer and Survivor. They played that incredibly well. But then how well will that translate though into Deathslinger on Suffocation Pit, do you wonder?
Yeah, I think the big thing too is how can what does the Endless response look like? It's one thing to keep your head in the game and just be like, hey, we're gonna come out here and put our best foot forward. It's something completely different to, like, I don't know. There's like for some people, there's like that clutch gene, right? You're down 2-1. Now I need to put my best foot forward and come out all cylinders firing. So I'm going to be interested to see what kind of response Endless puts up in set number 4. That is going to be the Deathslinger on the Suffocation Pit. And we will be bringing that to y'all after a very quick break. All right, let's get ready for another trip here back into the fog. Starting off set number 4 here between Endless and Owned. Currently Owned looking at a 2-1 set point lead, and we're going to be seeing Backy currently out on the Deathslinger. We are going to be moving quickly up into this top portion of our map here. We do see the Ruin. We also see the Corrupt. We see the Undying as well to protect that Ruin, but I can't help but think that that's just a very risky play. I mean, McMillan not exactly known for hidden totem spawns, right?
Oh, absolutely. And looks like Bulba is putting in some massive work here to keep Backy on this filler pallet for as long as he can, but that fast reload does give him enough time here. Will he get the shot as well? No, Bulba just holding W and escaping here just in the nick of time.
Question is, do you make this window here? Nice shot.
Great shot.
We do have the prison chains. Oh, I thought the prison chains might have gotten us enough value to be able to get the hit. Wasn't the case, though, unfortunately. Now going to be breaking up this main building. And, I mean, Backy already lost the Undying. We're about 45 seconds left on the Corrupt Intervention. And then at that point will be just a 2-perk Anderson. We got Backy able to find our survivor Bulba, who was already injured. So that's going to be a down. 2 survivors over on that gen across the way. We'll be seeing at least 1 gen pop. We also have our ace on a gen that's about 75%. So our survivors being really efficient here.
And Bulba being hooked very far away from the action here now. Pop getting ready to be used. And this top section of the map here is looking kind of scary now for the survivors, with everything slowly getting broken away. And the Corrupt, they are going to have to venture onto this side eventually.
It's going to be interesting. We see that Nia here sitting not quite to 75%, getting pretty close to that point though. So around 20 seconds of objective time needed for that generator to be complete. We do see Green Machine setting up for the save here as well, has that borrowed time here. And we've also got Dixie starting on generator number 3. So I mean, right now our survivors doing what they need to do, playing this thing patient. Unfortunately, though, we just talked about the whereabouts of all of our survivors. That does mean that the ace is over here by themselves trying to go for the save. This may be a second stage for us.
Oh, absolutely. It's too risky here for him to play the grab game. We do have 2 survivors here now to try and make this play happen. Oh! Interesting.
I'd like to speak to a manager.
That bullet just got sucked into the void, it seems. And we do have the all the people now out as well.
And understandable on the For the People play, right? Even though down the bottom left-hand corner... Wait, was there a second stage for us? I don't think there was, right? That was still on the first stage of that hook. I guess they're just wanting to prevent the tunnel out even on the first stage, which is kind of understandable with the way that Backy's playing, honestly. Oof.
Great shot here. Will he be able to convert this into a hit, though? Yes, he can. What a hit here onto Dixie. That was so close.
And the question is, do our survivors have an idea as far as where this ruin is? Because we can see it, and we can see that it's kind of tucked in a place where there's really no objective to be worked on back there. So it is going to require a survivor to really have to go out of the way, make sure that they're checking every nook and cranny here. We do have Bulba trying to set up for this save. It does look like Bulba has indeed been located, though. Wait.
So has Wrath as well. Back to the standoff game, it seems.
There's going to be the save coming in. We do know that the ace has the borrowed time here. There's going to be the hit. Very nice job as far as the shot. Going to be able to reel ace in without Nancy being able to come in for that protection hit. There's still the ruin now getting broken as well. Very, very tough here for Backy.
Reading that pallet again. I'm not too sure if that was the right play, but thankfully he doesn't have save the best for last. Forcing him wide just by ADS and gets the shot. Fantastic shooting here from Backy. That is 2 on the floor. Green is probably being picked up as we speak, though.
Yeah, we do see the little bit of a quicker reload thanks to those Warden's keys, but with both kind of survivors right around here, it's going to be a little bit of a tough situation for our team here from Endless to rebound from, and seeing that this is a must-win set for the squad from Endless. Gonna need to make sure that they take a second, reassess the situation here. We see some scratch marks off in the distance, not going to be able to... Yeah, that's big because now you should be able to have these 2 hooks pretty well back-to-back.
Green just being saved, but if they want to run back to the center of the map, they are running into danger.
See, trying to bait out like a potential dead hard. Nice job to be able to bait out the shot, though, to be able to sidestep. Gets the pallet down. I think because of that, Backy is going to kind of play a little bit more patient. You do still have a 3-gen on this top side here, but this hook is kind of away from it. It's interesting to see this approach right now from Backy.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good here. We do see... Oh, we do have a save. Wrath coming in to get the grab here on Bulba. uncertain if that shot landed. Yes, it did. What a great hit. Just waiting out the BT. Oh, Wrath not getting back in time. And blinds Bulba.
This is going to be unfortunate because this is going to more than likely require one of these two survivors that is currently just vibing, holding M1, hitting some skill checks, to need to come over for assistance here. Otherwise, we could be potentially looking at this being a 3v1. Unfortunate miss here for our killer, but I'm not sure if we're worried about a potential decisive strike here. I mean, you and I know that that's not in play currently. They don't know that, though, unfortunately. And it looks like the 3-gen is about to get broken up by Nancy. And with that being the case, not sure when we saw, I was going to say, Green Dean's been away for a while. And the adrenaline value here as well to allow our survivor to be picked up off of the ground. Now the miss, no endgame perks available. We could be looking at quite a few outs here from Endless.
Absolutely. They have no door pressure perks. They're in a very tricky spot here, and you can see that door is almost popped in the distance, so it looks like he wants to cut Bulba off before he makes it, but we're likely going to see some body blocks here from Endless to make sure that Bulba does get the out.
To Wrath, and Wrath already set up one person at the door. Bulba is actually at a door across the way. We do see, though, unfortunately, the kitty is lighting up there. That lets us know that the killer is getting close. We're going to pre-throw this pallet to at least allow for a little bit of room here. Bulba going to try the best that they can. I think we had seen our two survivors trying to set up for some potential body blocks to try and take some hits, because there is some distance between where Bulba needs to go and where they currently are. There's going to at least be the vault. You see the distance getting closed by our Deathslinger here. That's going to be the down. But it is a survivor that's on death hook, so it's the least amount of points you can hand over here.
That is true, and we do have Wrath getting out as with no hooks, and Dixie and Green only on their first hooks as well. So it's a little bit more manageable when it comes to their killer side of things here. They do know their win condition is just to make sure, at the very least, they can keep the pressure on the gens a little bit longer. If they can secure 2 kills out of this, that at least puts them even as well. So they can either decide to go with more of a split pressure on these hooks, so getting downs, rotating through the people, or lingering around the hooks a little bit longer and catching people on the unhooks. However, playing from the survivor side, you know that if someone is hooked and they're camping it, they're probably just not going to go for the save and just play to the win condition. So it's going to be very interesting to see how both sides do approach this next half of the set.
Yeah, I'll be intrigued here, especially because, I mean, we had seen that last game back. He came out with a very aggressive build here, but with a very obtainable win condition. We may even see our killer coming out for Endless, settling for more of an end game sort of build. So we're going to have to bring trial number 8 between Endless and Owned to y'all after a very quick break.
And we are back with the second half of round 4. Depending on how this goes, if Owned takes the cake, they do win the match tonight. So let's see what they do bring up here against Endless's killer. Green getting out and ready to patrol through, heading out towards his corrupted gens.
Gonna be tough here right now for the survivor. You had mentioned Owned has the potential to try and end things early and set number 4 in this best of 5 matchup. We're needing around 7 stages out the door. One of those needing to be, well, technically needing 8 stages out the door. One of those being fresh. And yeah, Mark does take an early hit. And now the question is, with a couple of these survivors still back tucked along this main building side, how much pressure are they going to be able to put in here, especially looking at this build from Green Machine, really going with more of an end game heavy build. I mean, I think Green Machine just understands the assignment and wants to just get the couple of stages you need, right?
Oh, absolutely. We do see Mark putting in a lot of work, making sure he can keep Green as busy as possible here for the start of the game. Is going through a few resources though, and running in towards the active generators, kind of stepping in the way. Another pallet just dropped straight away. Great shot.
Yeah. Gonna try and see if you can get the prison chain value. Not going to be the case, so just simply gonna go for the break on the chain. Allows for Mark to get to some freedom, as we do now also get the tag onto Cannon. That is gonna be our first gen complete. Just breaks up the 4 gen that looked like that spawned in over on the opposite side of the map. And if we can also complete that middle gen, we're gonna be looking really good as far as for our survivors here from home.
Wait, that looks still like a 4 gen now.
There still is a 4 gen. Yeah, there is a kind of a light 5 gen over on the side, I think.
Yep. Just bringing Pasty over to keep him away from those gens. But yeah, that's scary. If they do 1 gen on this side, like they're still going to have to put in a lot of work to break up what's over on main building side. What a shot.
Yeah, should get the prison chains value here because there isn't too much as far as the taller standing objects. So we are going to be able to establish the down at this point, but this is a down over on this shack side, the bottom side of the map. We have 3 survivors, including Canna, who has not gotten reset yet until now, which leads me to believe that we have at least 1 survivor across the way attacking that 4 gen setup. And right now with 2 survivors being here on the shack side, it doesn't look like Green Machine's going to be leaving that side of the map anytime soon.
Absolutely, he's just gonna keep his little survivor friend here tucked away in the shack. Great shot. He won't get prison chain value, but he will at least get the injured state on Mark. There is the save.
And we can assume with Claudette trying to line up behind the Atom, probably going to be a borrowed time hit. Unfortunately, since you weren't able to take that, lucky that Green Machine wasn't able to get the reload even with the Warden's keys in time to be able to get the shot there. So we are going to be exchanging fresh hooks over on this side of the map. This is going to be a basement. We have to make sure that we can get all the way down there. I wouldn't try and reach for that back hook. Yeah, this is going to be Mark now in the basement. The only problem is when we're talking about the overall hook stages, Green Machine doesn't really have the ability to just simply camp out this basement hook. So it is going to be a force to walk across with the 4.4 speed of Caleb. I mean, Caleb walks with a limp. Going to have to come all the way over here, which should allow for a pretty free save and a free reset across the way, if we're being honest.
Just misses that snipe here. And it looks like he's found another friend.
Yeah, I thought that was the injured survivor that had gone across the way that had missed the first shot on. That wasn't the case, so that is now going to be the Claudette. This is going to be a second stage, and this is going to be a hook that's right next to this generator that has a whole lot of progress, which means we probably aren't going to be seeing this generator getting complete anytime soon. Kind of surprised to see the delay across the map. There it is, though. Mark now getting that now getting unhooked. We also see generator number 4 getting complete, and that does break up the 3 gen over on this side of the map. So that does mean even though heading into this map, into this match, I should say, Green Machine had a very obtainable win condition. Our survivors have done a very good job of making sure not to hand over too much of the momentum here.
Absolutely. Yeah, so now with this, though, there is 2 gens on that shack side of the map. They have no reason to have to cross unless they do want to save Pasty on the hook. But yeah, they're nowhere near as in a scary situation as they were a generator ago. But we do have Green here just patrolling the choke point, and we do have a save. Very close, cutting that very fine.
Now here's going to be the interesting decision, because realistically, you've got 2 survivors on that gen all the way across the map. That Green Machine's going to have to try and traverse to be able to put pressure on. We do see, though, the Claudette isn't over there, actually rotated over more towards the middle of the map, which may allow Green Machine to come over and interrupt whoever it is that is on the generator. That's actually going to be the ace. That is Backy. Backy would be a fresh hook, and this would be a very big hook to be handing over before moving into the end trial. So gotta be careful here if you are the survivors. Green Machine, nice job to be able to cut Ace off through the backside of the main and building, and this is gonna be a down.
That is a very, very lucky down here for green. He read him very well, cut him off through the main building. Interesting decision making here by the survivors, though, not doubling up on that generator to pump that out, to leave that as, you know, with 1 gen left. It looks like that choice here is coming back to bite them. They do now have 1 gen left. But yeah, it's a tricky spot. If they let Backy die here on hook, but everyone else gets out, does that mean that they lose the game still?
I do believe so, yes, because that would mean that we have 2 survivors that were forced into that second stage here. Realistically, for the survivors, what you would like to do would be to swap the Claudette for the ace here. Let the Claudette take the elimination. That would cause the tie, but we are going to see here Mark moving in, takes the body block here, builds a little bit of distance. Now also going to be seeing Canna moving in. Canna has to be careful though, because of course that is the obsession. Nice shot here. Does potentially get the prison chain value. Good job here by Canna to take the protection hit, but that does now mean 4 injured survivors across the board here for team owned.
With 1 gen left and Canna being found here, if they do get downed and that last gen pops and they don't have something like adrenaline, that's curtains. Rancor is going to eat him alive.
Yeah, and especially because this is your fresh hook too, so I'm not even sure you're too worried about the elimination. No way! They planned it out just right. That's going to be the adrenaline value. Now, though, we do see, of course, there is going to be the Rancor now coming into play. You can simply hold up the ADS. That is a big miss. The only problem is this time, once Canna goes down, you do not have the ability to just simply go for the slug. This is going to be a Mori. There it is. There's the down, also exposing the Noed.
The For the People play. They For the People to make sure that he couldn't get Rancor.
Bro, that was beautiful. Unfortunately, though, I don't think that is going to make a difference in the set point. We are seeing, though, a really good fight here from our team from Own. Let's take a quick look here. Because that would be 11, or that's 14. The only thing is, if you get the save, 2, 4, 6, 7. Yeah, so the killer here from Endless has still acquired more hook stages. So even if you were to get the save and get everyone out the door, because of that additional fresh hook, even though you'd be getting all 4 out the door as opposed to the escape, even that would have caused Endless to still take set point number 4, let alone here now seeing the elimination come across. So as far as trial number 8 here, the score for this trial, 17-15 in favor of Endless, which means set number 4 will result in a total score of 34-27. So just like Spokerman and I had anticipated yesterday during the Fog Down Under podcast, we are going to be seeing our second best of 5 matchup of the season thus far, now going to require a 5th and final set. That's going to be the Huntress on the Blood Lodge. And I know we've already had a whole bunch of games here, so let's go ahead and take us a very quick break, and we'll be right back with that for y'all. All right, let's go ahead and take another trip here back into the fog for the 5th and decisive set here between Endless and Team Owned. And we're going to be seeing Dixie out on the Huntress here on the Blood Lodge. We do see have been able to find ourselves quickly up into this top side of the map where we do have the corrupted gens. We see some scratch marks here around main, able to avoid the first hatchet here. And Dixie coming in with that very common babushka Okav. So if you're able to get yourself down and get into the basement, really tough to save from a Huntress at that point.
Absolutely. Just tough to save from that in general. That speed in between the hatchets is unreal. Oh, breaking away from that chase. Interesting decision.
I'm thinking the thought process here is you haven't invested too much time, right? Nor have you invested anything as other than just one hatchet. You don't have a health state change. Let's go ahead and push into our uncorrupt side of the map. Let's see if we can disturb some survivors. We have been able to find Backy over here at the TNL. Of course, Anna does run just a little bit slower, so you do have the ability as the survivor to build some distance. Here's going to be the first hatchet. Now going to be following that up very, very quickly thanks to that Babushka Okav's combo that you were talking about there. Nice job here to be able to get that down. This is around the 90-second point, though, into the trial. So if our survivors have been doubled up on a gen, we may be seeing one pop in exchange for this hook.
There we go. There is the first hook here. One stack here on the no way out, which is great here for Dixie. Resupplying. Let's see how he decides to play this out.
It's going to be tough. It looks like we've got a couple of survivors like far across the map, but understandably so. It looks like we are split up on multiple gens. We've got Mark here. We've got Pacey here, both of them. And we've got Canna here with the generator right around that 65, quickly gets that 70% mark. And, you know, with this much time being on the hang time here, and with us being a little, you know, away from those gens, wouldn't be surprised to now see two survivors moving in as we see Canna completing generator number 3. But Dixie does still have this 3-gen intact over on this top side of the map, even consider it a 4-gen with that generator on the side. We do also see some auras over by the fun bus. Not sure if maybe we see our survivors trying to prioritize gens over friends. This could get spicy here.
Absolutely. They know too, I'm sure Backy by now would have called out the fact that there is the Rancor. So let's see how he goes with committing to this chase of the bus. It looks like he does want to just make sure that Backy does get removed here from the match.
Which is tough because that means unless there's like anything, you know, for the Peepo or anything like that to change the obsession, really the only value you're going to get from that Rancor for the rest of the trial is just simply going to be those little shutter auras, right? You're not even going to be able to get an elimination at the end of the trial. We do see a second survivor rotating over towards the fun bus here. Not sure if that might buy them enough time to get this complete here because it is getting pretty close to the 50% mark.
Ooh,
but we also have Canna on a gen that has a lot of progress here. Our survivors might make this early sacrifice pay off for them, honestly.
It's a very clever play. The gens before friends, especially against the Huntress in this sort of setup, I think is the smartest way to play this. But it depends on how they run it from here. Because if they do start letting the Huntress get more pressure, if Dixie starts getting some more injures, some more downs, that whole strategy will have just backfired on them. So let's just see how Mark goes with this chase.
Now we know that there's a pallet here, unfortunately, with the Huntress. Once you get caught into those animations, pretty easy for the Huntress to be able to line up the hatchet there. Now following up with a simple M1. Not sure if we might see our other survivor, Canna, try and rotate over to get this generator that was on Fun Bus done. We know that was the one they were trying to crank out here. This is going to be another fresh hook. That's a lot of points. You can hear this generator just about ready to pop, but no pop goes the Weasel. So that's just going to be a dry kick.
Yeah, just a swift little dry kick here. At least it is with brutal strength as well, so it's not chewing up too much time. You hear a bit of work there on the generator at the lodge. We've gone for the unhook as well. Here we go. Just misses that snipe there. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about before. This is where it can get very scary for the survivors when you commit to a gens before friends situation. If the Huntress does get a chance to do stuff like this, get those chain downs on people that do go for the unhooks, it becomes a very scary spot. But it looks like for this, though, they will finish that final gen at the expense of a fresh hook.
Yeah, and understandable so, because, you know, Dixie's probably going to at least first things first check in on this generator over at the Fun Bus. Now going to be seeing generator number 5 getting complete here. This is going to be tough because, as we had mentioned earlier, you know, Baki was already sacrificed, so there is no Rancor Mori here in play. We do have Kanna, who is a fresh hook, and even Mark, who has only been hooked once, so that would be 5 stages heading out the door. Can't help but wonder, though, if we might still see them try and set up for a save here. This is going to be close. This is tough. Oh, no, this is Kanna, too. This is your fresh hook. This was honestly the last survivor that you wanted in the chase. We do see Dixie, though, getting a little bit cautious there.
Adrenaline as well.
That adrenaline is huge because now you can split the doors without having to worry about the save, or without having to worry about the heal. Sorry.
And there goes No Way Out with 3 stacks.
Now, Kanna doesn't know this, but we know this. There's only one hatchet left here by Dixie. Dixie need to make sure that you really take advantage of this one shot, one opportunity. Something about palm sweaty or something like that. I don't know, but we're going to be seeing taking chase towards mid. The No Way Out, not quite off the doors here yet, so there's still plenty of time for Dixie to make a move, get themselves down. Does avoid throwing the hatchet. Really good patience here. Now just going to simply get the M1 from the Atom. Only now can our last survivor currently start working on the door now.
Speaking of, we are missing someone. Where did Kanna disappear to? We found Pasty.
Realistically, you don't mind Pasty going down or even really Mark going down. Both of them have already been hooked. You really would like to keep Kanna nice and safe here. That's big points that you're not only not handing over from the fresh hook, but then of course also getting 3 stages out the door renders you quite a bit of points here as well. We're going to be seeing Adam, Mark going to hold W, move towards the 4 lane over here, and this should hold the aggro long enough. Oh, but that's the door behind us getting open. Oh, this could get tricky. I almost am kind of surprised that we didn't just, while we had, oh no, that is going to miss. That was a really big hit.
That was a massive hit. I'm still surprised though that he had a lot of moments where he could have reloaded.
Yeah, I felt like when we saw the Atom at the far side of the 4 lane and we were by this locker that was closer to the door, that would have been like an ideal time to reload, right?
Or even through shock. They broke the pallet. They were keeping an eye on the door that they're facing now, and instead of, reloading, they just sort of marched on with a single hatchet.
Now, that is still a pretty solid performance when we're looking at overall stages. So, I mean, still going to be putting some pressure down onto whoever it is that we will be seeing coming out from the killer for owned, because, you know, you're able to get yourself some spread across the pressure. The one thing, though, Kanna was able to still escape fresh hook, and then not only that, but Pasty also escaping, only hooked once. So that's 5 stages out, results in a score of 15-15. So it only makes sense for a matchup here between Endless and Owned that's tied up through 4 sets, also ends up tied up going into the 10th and final trial. So we will be seeing Owned on the killer side, Endless on the survivor side, and what will probably be the last trial between these 2 teams here after a very quick break.
Fantastic way to finish this, considering these teams are drawn 15-15 right now. Q, what are your thoughts here? Who do you reckon is going to come out on top?
Oh man, this, you know, honestly, this is a hard one to call here. This has been tough and tight all the way through. And I mean, understandable, right? These are two of our top 4 teams here. Endless would like to hand over, owned their first L of the season. Gets done stupid, plus 10 wood added to the face here. We are going to be seeing Canna, though, quickly leaving this chase, and understandably so. Going to be monitoring these gens that are currently uncorrupt. We're about 45 seconds into the trial. Not sure if our survivors have really had the time to really get too much progress. It looks like we've got at least one survivor breaking away from this generator here. And we don't actually, it sounds like we also have footsteps behind us. We might have had 2 survivors. I'm not 100% sure on that, but
running into this corner here. But he
this is tough.
Ooh. Big miss here. But keeping Dixie locked down, but he does get a chance to break away from this corner. Just misses.
Not sure if we're seeing a little bit of the nerves, understanding the pressure, feeling a little bit of that, and that reflecting in some of these first hatchet throws. But we are now 100 seconds into this trial. We have yet to see a health state change. We have seen 3 missed hatchets, and now going to be moving into the main building here, which is going to be pulling Canna further away from the generators that need to be protected currently here. Wouldn't be surprised to see at least 1, if not 2, generators popping off in the distance. Does look like we happen to take an injured state there. Balanced landing also coming into play here to allow us to move away from the main building. Does someone have dark sense? LOL, just kidding. Now we're going to be seeing, though, the Rancor coming out, showing that value. Now our survivor squad knows about that, but you also see another gen already getting really close to complete.
Yeah, and Dixie's putting in a lot of work here, keeping Canna occupied as long as he can. That is Shack Pallet already thrown. Just hiding out here, trying to wear down as much time as possible. And we did see someone else through there on the other side of the shack. What a crouch. So close. And another gen has popped there in the distance. I think,
and that wasn't even that gen that we walked by. That gen that we walked by the broken truck still standing. So we might be seeing a 3rd gen pop soon.
Oh yeah, it does seem like Canna might be feeling a little bit of nerves here. There's a lot of pressure riding with him with this one. Doesn't get the blind in time thanks to the brutal strength, but he does get all the way to the comp corner. Dixie picks where he goes down and gets to delay that first hook as long as he can.
And this is tough because this is only going to be hook stage number 1 in exchange for 3 and about a 3rd gen. And we don't even know if there might be even another gen somewhere else that's got at least some progress into it. So our survivor squad right now really being, efficient on the generators here. There's still a little bit of a 3 gen intact on this top side here that Canna may be able to take advantage of, but what that's going to require is getting yourselves a very early down here. And we can hear this generator that was being worked on at main has quite a bit of progress. We see scratch marks going back towards that. We see another survivor heading towards the middle of the map. Canna needs to make something shake quick.
Oh yes, he needs to. He is getting kind of lucky though with vision moving out towards where that hook was. I'm not too sure. I swear I did hear a locker sound. Oh, what a blind! And vision does get out of that little nasty spot here. But will he still be able to dodge the hatchet? No. A lot of patience there by Canna to land that hit, but a great stun by vision to give him a little bit of distance, moving back towards that main building. Oh no, he's changed his path. He's heading over to Crane. Probably doesn't want his teammate on that main gen to be disturbed. The amount of progress that was on it before, I would say that that's getting very... Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, it's going to be generator number 4 getting complete here. We've only got 2 hatchets left. 1 hatchet left. We see Canna trying to thread the needle. Hasn't been able to do so thus far. Still only sitting at a single hook state as we've got 4 generators complete. Jumping into the locker here. Not sure if maybe we have someone around. Nope, no one's going to be able to go as far as for the save. There's a hook stage here. I think we were just kind of hoping to buy enough time, for generator number 5 that gets complete. We already had somebody able to proc the door with the no way out. Only 1 stack of that as well, which means only 24 seconds until our survivors can start working on the door, already 12 of which have expired.
And we do know as well that it seems likely that Dixie had the adrenaline because of that health stage proccing at that final gen as well. Unless that was just a very perfectly timed heal. Bulba making a run around the back of his truck. Vision being saved as well. He's deciding to commit to this chase. But even with the hook here, that does, even if he camps him to death, that does only give him 12 points.
Yeah, really would need to make, you know, a couple of extra moves here. Need a slug sort of play if you are looking to bring yourself to a decision here for Team Owned. Remember, Owned won the back-to-backs in sets 2 and 3. Looked like things were starting to pull into their favor after Endless won set 1. And instead, Endless has just continued to scratch and claw since set 3. And now here, even though this is a fresh hook in the end game, I do believe that is indeed right, that isn't going to be enough for our killer here, as the survivors are actually going to be walking out of here with 17 points, it looks like, and the killer walking away with 12. So that will actually be Endless taking set number 5 by a score of 32-27. We had predicted yesterday in the Fog Down Under podcast that this was going to be a super tight and long series here, and it definitely did not disappoint.
Absolutely. This was a fantastic match. And of course, for teams like this, it makes sense that this would go all the way down to the wire. Fantastic plays here from both sides on Killer and Survivor. And it was fantastic to watch.
And so that is going to be Endless. I got to hold on. Let me double check and make sure I'm saying this right before I say it. So that is Endless handing Owned their first loss of the season, which means that we had walked into today with 3 teams still undefeated. Now there are 2 teams still left undefeated. Thus far into the season, Revolution versus Genesis, and they just so happen to be our next series here. Should be an absolute banger. We're going to be starting with the Nurse on the Cold Tower, the Blight on the Blood Lodge, Doctor on Father Campbell's Chapel for those first 3 sets, and then if needed, the Cenobite on Wrecker's Yard and the Plague on ARP. I know we've already been through 5 sets, but are you ready to do this all again, Darth?